A zaraz trochę historii.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Comrades, your podcast about the FX series The Americans. I'm Ali, and I guess you're getting to know me by now. And of course, I'm joined by my amazing co host and my Bruce husband, the incredible Jesse Jackson. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Allie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am great. How's the driver's seat feel?
A little different, a little
Yes.
woman in charge. And I think based on the way this episode ended, with a woman kind of being in charge,
Yes.
it's good. I think it's
Well,
good. I'm kind of driving this one.
yes, you are. I'm excited. We've
So,
got a fun episode to talk about.
really, it's episode 5, season 4. It's Clark's Place. It just aired this past week on April 13th.
Yes, we're caught up.
We are caught up. Yay. So
Yes.
now we can really talk without knowing,
Yes.
which is kind of fun, actually, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So let's see. Let me ask you straight off the bat. Let's go from the end for a moment.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Are you cooled off yet from watching that last scene?
It is so, that was so hot, and she's taking control. And I did not realize that the actors are seeing each other in real life.
Well, I think I just told you that a
I
couple
know
minutes ago.
that you told
And
me that.
she's having a baby.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. I don't even know if that's all around yet, but Kerry Russell has been living in Brooklyn, where a lot of actors live, actually,
Yes.
for some time now. And a year or two ago, um, it was kind of rumored that they were together.
Mm-hmm.
And when she split from her ex-husband, it was rumored then, and they kind of, it wasn't about that.
Right.
But yes, they are together and they're having a baby. And maybe some of you now could understand the way they're shooting. Because I've known this now for around 4 episodes. And if you
Yes.
see, Elizabeth has the laundry basket in front of her, or she's sitting, or she's behind Philip, or she's this. Now maybe you'll be aware of it, more people.
Ah, I did not know
Ah,
that. Yeah.
creative filming there.
Yes.
Because I don't really think, Philip and Elizabeth are having another baby.
No, I don't think so
No.
either. It was it was a great ending. And
Ah, and that's why I'm in charge today.
yes,
Wait, wait.
I was so, he's
Yeah,
s-
yeah.
sex can be so many things to
He's
different.
wearing a leather skirt, for Christ's sake.
Yes.
He pulls up a leather skirt. There's nothing, that's sexy in itself.
Absolutely. I love the idea that they're comforting each other. There's
Scared shit,
passion
let's
to
be
it.
real.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, when she looked out the window and she saw Stan getting into the car with the guy that she remembers, if you all go back to, what was it, season 2, when she literally got into a physical altercation, it was with him over
Hmm.
the what was it, the not North, they weren't Northrop Grumman at the time, the paperwork she had
Yeah.
worked this people about, and she literally was holding it when she got into the fight with, I always forget his name, the agent that Stan got in the car with, and she saw that out the window, the fear in her face, the fear.
Yes.
And I think, her, initiating sex with Philip at that time was just about all of that, what you just said,
Yeah.
besides just being hot.
Yeah. Oh, very hot. Very hot.
So there is a lot, with everybody, everybody talking about in this, the death of Nina. We have to cover.
Yes.
it's so big and only returns to and I just love saying this word, the resident daughter, you know,
Yes.
returns, and there's like no sympathy. It's like his father all over again, there was no sympathy.
Yeah, it
That's what he
is.
meant with Stan.
Yeah, I thought that was a interesting discussion. Both of these guys failed Nina. Both of them had been with her, and kind of combination of this done. I just really liked it.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. There's so much to kind of cover in this episode.
Yeah.
There's something interesting that I found, and I don't know if you've picked up on this, this whole Mary Kay thing. Let's talk about this Mary Kay thing for a minute.
Okay, so we have not talked about that, and this has been a really interesting storyline. They've, they were at a Mary Kay party, and then Elizabeth met her at a grocery store, undercover.
Well, she didn't meet her. She
Yeah, they stumbled.
stalked her.
Right. And then she went to her friend's house, right? For
Young
dinner.
he. That's young he.
It's okay. And
Now, let me stop you for a minute.
yes.
Does anyone else see this? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. This is the Cold War. This is communism. This is Russia, right? That they're from, and they chose this woman, this who is a Korean. She's Korean. She's not Chinese. She's not Japanese.
Yeah.
And I don't know where this whole storyline's going. With Lisa, the Northrop Grumman employee, you kind of knew where it was going a little bit. You didn't know how the husband was going to play, blah blah blah. But with this one, you have no clue. I don't, at least. And when I see, I see this is a Korean immigrant. This isn't, and I find that very interesting, being another communist country, and this whole Cold War. And I don't know if I'm just pulling something out of thin air. We'll only know as the episodes happen, but it's an interesting thing that they chose, in my opinion.
I totally agree. And I think one of the interesting things about this show is, and about Elizabeth and Philip's life, is they are always having to juggle multiple tasks. You and I have talked about this. We're both parents. We both have had to juggle, careers and family life and the kids. They've got all that plus all these other things happening. So in the middle of all this going on, worrying about Paige and Pastor Tim, Elizabeth's also trying to build a relationship for whatever reason with her partner in Mary Kay.
Right.
And I have no idea where that's going to go. And how do you put yourself in that mindset? How do you the character is a great actress.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no idea, where we're going with this or what's happening, but I think it's amazing.
I do too. Also, and I'm gonna just skip around because there's just so much to cover in this
Sure.
episode. We have we go back to Pastor Tim a minute, right?
Yeah.
Because okay, we put that aside. We don't know where it's going yet. You and I are not playing catch up anymore, so we're kind of like with everyone else, we're just gonna be a wait and see.
Yes.
But Pastor Tim and them bringing this fake priest who says he works under, everybody, most people might remember the real life Oscar Romero.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have this priest, trying to, what they've done for me, and how good they do the work of the, good work, and as a priest, them trying to con, Pastor Tim. Do you think he believed it?
I don't know. I hope so. I thought it was a pretty good storyline, and for Pastor Tim's sake, I hope he believed it too. Um, it is, and I did love that. I wonder if he's really a priest, as they drop him off at some
That was
seedy,
hilarious. Some seedy
depressing
motel,
hotel room, right?
Holiday Inn. Sorry, that's a little rapper's delight there. The Queens
Yes.
comes out of me sometimes, the Queens girl.
And it was really interesting. Like and our country does bad things too.
Yes.
But, this death camps and everything was wonderful. Just how they're playing with them. So I hope he believes them. I know then Paige
Is he
goes,
a real priest? That
yeah,
was so good.
and then
Paige
because he's a
having to go
Jesuit, yes,
apologize.
right, yes,
That's
and then,
so parental, right? You
right,
should go apologize.
yes,
And then, but when Paige is doing it, do you believe? Like, did you feel for a minute, Jess? Like, like she was almost. She's becoming good. She's becoming good. She's almost becoming like cagey, like a spy. Like, because I thought for a minute when I saw her pacing in Pastor Tim's office that like she was a double agent. Like she was telling him, so this is what they wanted me to do.
yeah,
Did you get that feeling for like a minute there?
yeah, I do, and I'm supposed to say I forgive you, and
Yes.
he
Like she's
says,
telling him.
why would your parents want you to say that? Apparently, they like you. They think you're a good guy,
Right.
and she's just, and I loved where Elizabeth says, I think we've given you too much too quickly.
Right. Enough.
Let's let's
There's no
let's
more.
let's let it settle for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's just like, her look on her face is like, what?
Yeah.
Like any teenager would have
Yes,
about
exactly.
anything. Like, what?
Yeah.
But I feel like she, seriously, in the way she was in Pastor Tim's office, is she just generally was like a double agent. I'm telling you this.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting because wasn't such like a, she didn't go in there just like, I'm sorry, I hope you know this or whatever. She went in there divulging more information in a way.
Mhm. Yeah. So we're going to see what happens on that. I want to go back to, I thought that was a great point about the Mary Kay friend, and what is her name? The
On the show?
yeah, what's the character's name?
Oh, it's something Yi.
Okay, Yi.
It's Young
Oh,
Hee,
okay.
Young Hee.
That being Korean, all I thought about was um, Koreans normally have a reputation of being very family oriented and also very a strong work ethic. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I was thinking, truly a wonderful tribute and a success story, for people coming to America and building a life. And the big family, and at the dinner, we talked, we didn't talk about that earlier, but they had that. So I didn't even think about, North and South Korea and that area that could be. So I think that's a really interesting point. And they could be angling because so far we don't know anything except it's a big family and that they do Mary Kay.
Right. And but also, the closeness that her and Elizabeth has gotten already.
Yes.
They've gotten really close, and it's like when she came home and she said she was with a friend, and like her entire family looks up like, you have friends?
Yes, they did.
You have friends. What do
Right.
you mean? And I think for Elizabeth, it's kind of, again, we don't know where it's going, but it's kind of this, like, this coffee clutch, you know what I mean? This like just light part of her day, and I think she looks
Yes.
forward to it.
Absolutely.
Obviously there's a big ulterior motive. Obviously we know that
Yeah.
she's just not making
Gotta
friends
be.
and becoming a Mary Case, person.
Hmm.
That's not happening. But I think also it's just this little, also, just this lightness for right now for her.
Yeah. Um.
You know,
So how are you feeling? How do you think Martha's feeling right now?
scared out of her mind,
Yes.
and also pretty nice when she takes Valium and wine.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I've never done it personally, but I've heard it's
Yeah.
very relaxing, very
Yes.
80s. I'm
Yes.
surprised nobody's doing coke on the show yet.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
Um, but as a cover and a story or something, but we are only in 1983 right now. You know,
Okay.
that's the year that we're in on the show.
Okay.
So I don't know, if Coke, I'm not sure yet, but yeah. So Martha's feeling she's scared. She's scared in a lot of ways. I think first and foremost, as odd as it sounds, I think she's scared of just losing Clark more than her job, more than this. She's losing Clark.
So
You don't have to agree.
no, I do agree with you. I totally agree. And I think, like, I was worried, which is sad, but I was worried for Martha's sake that, um, quote unquote, Clark was going to be gone.
Right,
Because he's pulling everything out, he's leaving, and then, it's almost like he's leaving there and never going to see her again.
right.
And I still don't know if that's not going to be the case. What do you think?
It's Man, I don't know. I mean, I think Philip, the man, not this
Yeah.
guy, not this. I don't think Philip wants to lose Martha.
No.
Honestly, I think, like we've discussed previously, that Philip Clark, is has this love for Martha, has this, just, stand and everybody down the back, down, following them. And I think it was like, someone having an affair, like they have an affair for a reason. It's different from their life. It's a break from their life. It's not dealing with it. And I think, after the initial, you know, um, him conning her, so to speak, he started to feel for her in some way. And I think that he found the refuge going to Malthus. You know what I mean? And just he enjoyed it, and they
Yeah.
became more like a couple. I mean, an odd one in the sense that you can't go out, you have to wear your wedding ring in the house, blah blah blah. But even explored adopting a child to her being on the phone with her parents and Clark to her and saying things, whatever
Yeah.
it is. It became this great thing for him to escape.
Yes.
And whereas now it's, as always could have been, and as, they saw that, they could be caught, but, it escalated so quickly right now, and they've, it's kind of like going fast, where this is heading, and, I just think, Martha. I,
I
I thought she was going to be dead at the end of season 2 at one moment, also, but,
yeah.
we'll see. You can't tell with Joe and this whole team. You can't really.
Yeah, I'm very worried about Martha. It is not good to be mixing your wine and,
Value.
values. She is so nervous. It does feel like in a lot of ways Clark has abandoned her. Like she's like, I really need to see you. Let's wait till Tuesday. And he says, I love you. And I love that line. Tell me on Tuesday. Tell me in person what's going on. Um, yeah, and I guess Martha is afraid to lose Clark because if she was smart, I think she would go to John Boy and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you about what's happening."
Oh, no way.
You
No,
don't think
he
so?
is gonna gonna say this?
Hmm.
Really? Do you?
I don't know. I just, I'm trying to think what's the best way for her to go forward, and I just don't know.
It's running.
Yeah,
It's running.
yeah,
I think, look, and I think the way it ended off with the guy, we go back to the end, and what, Elizabeth, quote unquote, taking her husband, I think, her seeing how Philip is so concerned with getting Martha out, and he's concerned for Martha and wants to make
yes,
sure she's good, and how, they say that
the center will take care of her. We'll get this. You know,
Yeah.
and all this. I think Martha has played this integral part in this. And she is touching so many worlds now.
Yes.
In like the 6 degrees of separation. She's like in touching so many different areas. I don't, can't. I see. Maybe she killed herself. Maybe she killed
Mm.
herself. Maybe that's where the wine and value. It just clicked. It just clicked, people. If everybody else thought of it before me, I'm sorry. Maybe that's where they're going with the wine and the value. Maybe
I
that's where they're going. I don't know. It
well,
could be, though. It
and
could be. We haven't had a real suicide on the show. We've only had them stage
fake it.
suicide.
And that would the other worry is do you think she is worried about her life or does she trust Clark?
She trusts Clark.
Okay.
She trusts him. I think so, at least.
Okay. I could I think so too. And I don't know if she should.
Oh, well, come on. Of course not.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah. I am so let's talk a little bit about Oleg finding out that Nina's dead, and he's not
Talk about
happy.
a suicide thought. Did you think the
Yes,
father was going to kill himself at the funeral?
I did.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
right? Who
and
would have thought it was the military honors that they wouldn't give him because of the war that nobody knows of?
and that's kind of interesting, right? That this is a. I did love the comment. You're the only Russian official that can't get his son, off the front.
Exactly. When he said that to his father in the office when he came home, it was amazing. It
Yes.
was like gotcha.
Hmm.
Like one of those little funny, but serious digs,
Yes.
kind of like, when Elizabeth turns to Paige and is like spy training, whatever she said,
Right.
it's like these funny, like type of sarcasm things that they
Hmm.
throw in there.
Yeah.
But it's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his father? The Minister of Transportation?
I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
something like that. He's like the Minister of
Yeah.
Transportation, which apparently is some important job
Right.
in a country that had nothing at
Hmm.
that time.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Olga.
Hmm. It was, yeah, very sad, and um, Stan's feeling his guilt too. I really liked how they took this. Not only did they shock us last week with her sudden death, but then they haven't forgotten her, and they've kind of, showing the consequences of this.
Right. And everybody has, like, Stan's blaming himself.
Yes.
Olga's looking at it more as a betrayal of government.
Yes.
And then you have, um, Arkady, the head of the Residentora.
Hmm.
Because everybody, I love to say that, puts
Yes.
the blame on her,
Right.
as his father did,
Yes.
So you have all of these, all of these different perspectives, betrayal by government, her
Hmm.
being this, and Stan taking it on himself, you
Yeah.
know. It's very interesting, but I think it gives us a good look at just, I think, a panic, like as the USSR was back then, just a panic. I think things started to break. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I think they're starting to touch on that
Hmm.
in all of this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems, and they're starting to, show them and expose them.
So I have another question for you. Is is Matthew beaten down by Henry, or what
When he
is?
first walks in, I mean, I think, and I don't know if you caught it, but Henry always calls him Mr. Beeman, right?
Yeah.
But when Matthew first walked in, I could have sworn he said Dad was going to do this. Now, did he say your dad?
I
You
did not catch that.
you got to go back and watch it and
Yeah.
listen to that one when Matthew first walks in.
Hmm.
I think Matthew has been